I was hoping I can get to 27, 28 and be able to make
100 grand a year.
100 grand a year. So the first month of both parks, I was at 25. I hit 70,000 last month. Once we add the sites, I'll be at 95.
Also, I tell people the value of a property is never the purchase price. The value of the property is what you can do with it. What's my first plan of attack on a property like this? Jim, you've been in the RV world, it sounds like, for a bit.
Yep.
Are there a lot of sellers or a lot of property owners that kind of have that same story of they are not doing maintenance and therefore there's an opportunity for a guy like Nick or somebody in our audience right now?
Correct. So that's the biggest thing. So they purchased a park, they did an initial big facelift, they got the park full and running, and then they just don't keep enough reserve to maintain maintenance as a fixed cost. That every year, like so for the front park, we need about 2 loads of rock a year just to maintain the roads.
Okay.
So, and that goes, and I even went through numbers recently with Nick. I got about 12 hours a month doing the gravel roads every month.
Okay.
That's never going to change. You have to have that in your head that you have to keep that and that reserve for that.
Okay.
If you pull that money to buy your vacation house,
Yep.
and then next year you say, well, you'll have to do without the load of rocks for 6 months. Well, that load of rock gone, though, then makes twice the size potholes and I actually need 2 loads of rock.
Yeah.
But now you don't have the double cash reserve.
Yeah.
And then you just expand that out to every pipe break, every problem, and then that lowers the quality of your customer. And then you get lower quality customers, you get less customers. And then that's where the opportunity lies. Find a decent location.
It's kind of like a downhill slope, because what happens is you get a lower quality customer, then you have to lower your prices again, which then only attracts lower quality customers.
Right, correct.
And it's just this horrible thing that gets to a point where now you've got a tired landlord.
If you don't have a
Right?
big cash influx to pull up the stick, you're just going to crash.
Okay, cool. So you guys, Nick, you go into buying the property. At the time when you bought the property for 1.3 million, what was operating here and how many paths of opportunity were there that you now look at and you go, I got to put money together to go and do this?
So when I first started out, when I bought it, there were 40 campers in the front of the park. I had $17,000 come in that month.
What was your payment on that 1.3 million bucks?
$7,000.
Okay, so you had $7,000 monthly payment. You probably had another $5,000 to $7,000 of miscellaneous expenses.
Yeah, electricity.
And maintenance and whatever else.
Yeah.
So you were essentially breaking even on the first month.
Yeah, I was breaking even, and I was hoping I can get to 27, 28 and be able to make
100 grand a year.
100 grand a year.
That was the goal.
That was a goal.
Okay, cool. So, and I think anybody else would be like, man, this would be really cool to be able to be here, own something like this, make $100,000 a year. That's what most people's goal is, to like kind of quit their job.
One property, you can make $100,000 a year. So that's where my mindset was. And whenever I brought Jim on board, you know, he really talked me into buying this park just because of the value add and efficiencies that we would gain.
Okay.
Because being able to have one maintenance staff, one admin staff, one location, one set of heavy equipment, because you need lawnmowers, tractors, etc. to do this kind of work.
Excavator. I bought an excavator.
Smart, right? The excavator's for what? Digging up pipe and
laying all the new pipes, building new sites, removing stumps, fixing the roads.
So do you have a guy full-time just handling that all day long, or is that Jim's
job?
That's
just me.
That's Jim. Okay, great.
And we are bringing on other regular maintenance guys for like the lawnmower work to assist, etc., whatnot.
Okay, so what I love about this is, I know Jamil did a whole video about how a wholesaler can, you know, integrate themselves into your world and find opportunities like this. Jamil and I are a little bit different. That's why him and I are a perfect pair. He is the king of wholesale. I'm a guy that likes to buy and hold, and I'm I got a little bit of hillbilly in me.
Yeah.
I grew up in the mountains. I grew up, you know, working. I love getting my hands dirty. This actually, doing this kind of work and being an excavator, give me that over $1 billion.
Yeah.
There's something weird about just being a blue collar boy and getting out and doing the work. So you could come out here, own something like this, have a hell of a time.
Yeah.
Like you guys, I know you've literally dealt with we'll get to that in a little bit. But you've also had a great time out here, right?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
We laugh and joke the whole time we're doing it. So if we're digging a hole with the excavator and he's in the hole, because I'm the better operator.
Oh yeah.
So
Look, he's talking shit right now, bro.
Well, hold on, he trusts me over the top. But I can tell you, there's been a few times that we've had a disagreement, and while he's in the hole, I'll ask him, "We good, bro?" As he looks up at the thing.
So whenever I'm cutting a sewer pipe, because he's got a phobia with sewer and
Oh
everything.
yeah, no.
So I'll pick up the pipe I
starts
just
gagging.
cut and do like this. I'm like, we good, bro? We good, right?
Right.
Okay, so you buy the property, you got 17,000 coming in. You got basically, you're breaking even the first month,
Yeah.
right? What's my first plan of attack on a property like this?
So basically, like in the beginning, it was putting out fires.
Okay.
So we had a lot of deficiencies with the state and water well and whatnot. And we had
Electrical
to get
deficiencies.
electrical. We had to get that squared away. Had a lot of boxes that were not up to speed. So Jim had to get on that, fix the boxes. You know, everybody who's there is good.
Okay.
But after that, I saw the opportunity in the extra land and the extra availability of spots, or the spots that were not taken care of and not maintained when the former owner had it.
Right.
We started getting those up, adding rock, making sure the water is good, the sewer, the electrical, and just start filling them.
What would you say at the time was the tenants that were here? What would be their biggest complaint? If I went out and did a survey and I got them all back,
Okay.
what would be the biggest complaint?
Okay, whenever I walked this property, whenever I was scouting it or reconnaissing the property,
Yeah.
I came out and I had guys coming up to me saying that, hey man, you part of maintenance and we got no water pressure. I was like, no, I'm just here for whatever, insurance purposes.
Yeah.
You know, so what happened, like whenever I got Jim on board, there was a filter on the water well that had probably not
Never
been changed.
Oh,
Not-
So when I unscrewed
Oh,
it, it came
my.
out like Jello. So when I got here, actual measurement, there was only 4 gallons per minute of water coming out. We need more like 16.
Wow.
And just by changing the filter, I got us up to about 8 or 9. But then there were some electrical deficiencies and some valve problems, but it all goes back to the failure of the park is maintenance. They did no maintenance on the well, et cetera, or whatnot.
Okay.
So that was the number one complaint was water. I got the water squared away on the first day. Then the second complaint would have been the other customers. Disturbances, noise, poor quality of customer. Again, one bad customer costs you 3 good customers.
Poo flowing over the road, just
yeah,
treatment
all
plants.
of that type of thing.
Did you start opening up more spots, or did you start raising rents first?
Fixing spots and then opening spots that were just closed because of neglect. Like it looked like a spot, but like the water spigot
Is this a
wasn't
spot
there.
right here?
So this spot is going to be this way.
Okay, got it.
And those mailboxes need to be moved. Again, this was just poor. We added this site here. They had infrastructure, but no actual site or pad.
Got it.
And so just like here, this has it. This is ready to go. It's just that mailbox.
Was
blocks the
I mean,
site.
I don't want to put the seller on blast. Was the seller just in a phase of their life that they were like, I'm tired?
I think it was a lot of things. He had a guy that was, I don't know how to explain him, but he was pissed. So everywhere he went to try, I'm gonna put it this way, everywhere he went to try to work, we know it was him because we find a pack of cigarette butts and a 6-pack of beer buried underneath what he
And
did.
sometimes the new parts in the hole, like say there's a spigot here, but there's no spigot. And there's a hole dug, the hole's still open. All right, I'm gonna go fix it now. When I go digging around, you'll find the empty beer cans. Maybe the new spigot's still in the wrapper.
Wow.
And so on and so forth. We found that several
So he
times.
just had the wrong team,
Correct.
Yeah, oh
He
yeah.
had no
Terrible.
team.
and the owner probably was like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
That's exactly
yeah.
it. You got to get your hands dirty. You got to be boots on the ground.
Okay.
And you got to see it yourself.
Okay, so after-
even if it's your park, one of the things you should do, particularly if you're a remote owner,
Yeah.
is you need to go stay the night at your park.
Okay.
Anonymously, just go stay the night at your park. See what happens at night. At night, we'll tell you what's going on. If it's quiet at night, you're probably okay. If it's loud and noisy, you need to address
Yeah.
what's going on. Go walk around the park, go check how everything is, and go talk to a few customers.
How long is the longest tenant that's ever been here?
15 years.
15 years. Take a look at this, and they're in an RV,
Yes.
not a permanently fixed.
No, and that would be on their 5th or 6th RV. And
Okay,
they
so
upgrade every 5 or
so
6
they're
years.
they're literally just looking at this, going, man, I got my water, my power included for $585 a month. Where else could you live in the country for that cheap?
right.
Correct.
So I actually feel like the opportunity of RV parks is going to blow up as affordability in America goes down.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like this is going to be, and people are going to go, I can live anywhere because of the internet.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you have the flexibility of work. If you're an actual blue collar job, you could work at this port in Florida or this port in New Orleans, or I was just using maritime work as an example. It makes it very easy to just move. And then if you find the right park, you feel comfortable bringing your family. That's one of the other big changes did when Nick bought it. We had some contract workers who were just staying by themselves with their family remotely.
Yeah.
As we cleaned up their park, they brought their family in.
Love it.
and then ended up staying much longer because of it.
The opportunity now for this park is you started with 40 pads that were operating.
Yeah.
You now are at what?
So the back park, we're right at 75.
Okay.
We went
then-
from 40 to 75.
And then we'll be able to add 30 more back here.
Okay.
And then this one, I started with, I think we were at 17, 18 operating. 17 pads operating. We just counted the other day, we have the availability to go to 48 or 49.
We have 35 now.
We have
Since he's
35
bought
now.
it, we have
Okay, so
35
you
now.
doubled that side.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you
pretty
doubled
much
this
double
side.
that side,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, so your income on the property now, what would you say guesstimate?
So the
monthly?
first month of both parks, I was at 25. I hit 70,000 last month, but once we add the sites,
70,000.
once we add the sites, I'll be at 95.
95,000, but do you still have the original loan that you got on this thing?
I had the original loan. When I bought this park, I bought it for 0 money down, and the bank cut me a check for $341,000 for improvements. So I just took another line of credit off Monday for another 300. I'm gonna drop it in, get my income to 95. And once I get to 95, I should be at a 6 million valuation and only owe 2.5.
Plus all the additional sites that'll be on
Bro.
the
Right,
line, and the amenities we're looking to.
And we're in the swamp.
right.
So,
Swamp.
yeah, proceed forward another 50 feet.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so there's actually two properties. It sounds like you bought this property originally for
Yeah.
1.3. You then went to your neighbor and you bought that property. How much did you pay for that property?
785.
785. You got it for 0 down, meaning the seller financed it too?
The original property, 9 months later after we made improvements,
Yeah.
when they took the new appraisal and we went to the bank, it appraised for $1 million more than what I bought it for.
So you got a
After
line
9
of credit
months.
against that.
So
to
I
buy
did.
that.
So we did a whole cash out refi.
Gosh, damn.
And then bought that one with 0 money down. I got a check at closing. Now I took another line of credit because I still had plenty of space
Oh my
off
word.
the previous appraisal.
Bro,
So this section of land we're
I'm
standing
moving to
on now-
Louisiana.
So this section of land we're standing on right now is approximately 1.3, and it was part of Nick's original purchase, and he didn't know he owned it because the swamp was all the way up to the road there.
Wow.
I knew from previously working here where the property marker was, which was like right about here
Okay.
somewhere, but there was no way you could see it because there was swamp all the way because of no maintenance being done with the
Okay.
prior owners and whatnot. So we're able to reclaim all of this, and that's part of our next expansion is we're going to be putting in a couple Connex boxes, and this will become the work yard where all the tractors will be able to be covered and worked on. And
Once all the CapEx improvements are to be done,
Yeah.
and I squeeze out this line of credit back into it, and I get to 95, then I'll have, like I said, 6 million. I'll be able to go back to the bank after that and pull 2 more million off
Wow.
to get to wherever else I want to go in real
Wow,
estate.
wow. There is opportunity everywhere. This gets me so excited. I've got a property down in Yuma, Arizona. It's different than what you have. This is an RV park. I own a mobile home park. Okay, so my people are not leaving anywhere, right? There are some RVs that come in and out, but it's primarily like fixed mobile homes, and I just own the dirt. I net cash flow on that about $7,500 a month, but I literally spend every dollar every month maintaining and upgrading the property. So a tenant moves out and, or we have to evict them for whatever reason. We go in there, spend $10,000, whatever, rehabbing that, and then we raise the rent. I've been doing that for 2 years. I bought the property for 600 grand. It's now worth $2.5 million because I've
Wow.
raised the rent. It's gone up crazy. Obviously rents have also gone up like crazy
Yeah.
the last couple of years as well. So what's amazing is that somebody could live here for this inexpensively. And the people that live here, this is actually their ideal quality of life.
Yeah.
They prefer to live here than you could hand them the keys to a mansion and they go, no, I'm good.
Yep. Yep.
They would
our
prefer
longest
to live
tenant,
Yeah.
our longest tenant has a very large house in Florida with a covered swimming pool
Yeah.
and whatnot, and she visits about 3 weeks a year,
Wow.
and she prefers to live out of her RV.
Okay, so this section here, what do we still have to do on this section over here?
So this section is being rehabbed to be green space, so we have a centralized, nice community green space.
Okay.
Again, it's reclaiming it from swamp and from years of poor maintenance. And just getting into this was a lot of work. I think we got 7 loads of river sand in here and such
Okay.
to get it like this. And that is the future of this, to have a big green space. This is plausibly could have more campsites, but the location of this is geographically poor, in relation to power, water, sewer, etc.
Okay, so what would you say your tenants now, here we are, how long has it been since you bought the property?
2 years?
I bought it in May of 21, so less than 2 years.
Okay, less than 2 years. What would you say now your tenants really are asking you for? What additional things? Parks, lazy river, a little garden, what do they want?
Maybe some barbecue pits.
Amenities
Yeah,
is where
amenities.
we're at. But overall, all of our customers are happy now. And we have very good Google ratings. We had terrible Google ratings when we bought it, and we're 4.5, 5 stars now.
Okay, great.
That's what we're getting.
What about, because I traveled the country for half a year
Right.
in my RV. I've got an Airstream, and we traveled around. I actually never showered in my Airstream.
Right,
I
yeah.
showered in the actual RV park shower.
And that's correct, and that's where we're heading right now.
Okay, so you guys got a shower on site.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Amazing.
And that is a big key difference. And in the back area during this next expansion phase, we'll be adding a
Can
small
you
shower.
charge extra for the ability to shower, or is that included in the rent?
That's included in the rent.
Okay.
We have not found it the case this, but at some RV parks, you may wish to limit access at night, etc.
Okay.
Just to prevent outside access. We're somewhat rural, so it's not an issue, but if you were in a more urban area, that would be easy to foot traffic, access your property or whatever, or key card access to the shower.
Okay, so this land right here, this little dirt path, is this road good enough, or do you feel like this needs to be covered?
So if you budget for that, you're going to spend about 12 hours on this section.
Why
It's about-
hours rather than just gravel? Is
Well,
it both?
It's both.
Okay.
Because you have to grade it and slightly add gravel.
And what are you using to grade it? You got
A tractor with a box blade on the back.
a box blade. That's a word I just learned today.
And so this is
I was
about,
today years old when I learned what a box blade
this is about
does.
12 hours per month. There's pros and cons. The pros is it can never truly fail on you. Its only repair is another scoop of gravel.
Okay.
Unlike blacktop, you can get a big buckle and then you've got a big deal. This can only ever require that. If the budget over is that it's cheaper to keep it as gravel, and this is 610 limestone, it's specific, it's the best road bed, and then it's about 12 hours a month to maintain grade on this. It has no weight limit, it won't get tire marks, it's always repairable. That's the plus over asphalt. Asphalt is, you don't have a monthly thing, but it does have a limited time frame. Asphalt goes bad, it wears out, it whatnot.
Yeah.
And it's extremely expensive to put down.
Got it, okay. Your people are happy now. You got good reviews cranking in. What are some of the bigger problems you guys are running into right now on a day-to-day basis? Not your improvement side, but on your management
It's always poo, right?
So
It's always poo.
Always
right,
poo.
That's right, and particularly the new wet wipe products, etc., whatnot. There's no way to automate out of it. They do it. They flush things they shouldn't, and it jams up pipes and
Got it.
Jams up pumps.
And pumps.
Pumps are
pipes,
$2,500 a piece.
Wow.
And so when
So-
he first bought the park, we were pulling a pump every Monday. And again, we're talking about one bad customer cost 3 good ones. One bad customer was who was jamming the pump every month, every Monday, for months. When we eliminated that customer, we eliminated that problem.
Hey guys, in the comments, take a guess at what they were flushing in the comments down below. I don't want to say it out loud, but I think I know what's up. Make a comment. I want to see what you guys think about that. Okay, so you've got people jamming up pumps. That person is no longer here, it sounds like.
Right.
Correct.
So that makes it so your pump, which was costing you 25, you're pulling a pump doesn't mean you're replacing it, means you're
No, I
repairing
was
it.
going down there with
But you
pliers.
gotta-
And literally pulling stuff
it
out.
stuff out.
And not
Oh
only
my
that, you have to have
gosh.
machinery to lift it out of the pit.
Oh
and
my
so on
word.
and so forth. So that's where Nick came in to shine. So that's how Nick got ahead. So if we had to contract that out, it's $600 per time a pump has to be lifted.
So you got down here, you did the
So
work.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
I invented a winch attachment for the tractor.
Uh-huh.
I winched it up, and I'm not going to do that. I'm telling you, as the pump gets 3/4 of the way up, I'm already green. When the pump gets already up, I start walking.
Yeah.
And then Nick was willing to go in there, gloves on, hands up, and
Love it.
pull it out of the
Love
pump.
it, love it,
Yep.
love it,
And
love it.
then I lower it back in, and Nick would crawl down in the hole and connect it up. So that was at least would have been $20,000 of outside repairs if Nick wasn't willing to do it.
Plus the
himself.
wait time of scheduling the person to come out and do all that kind of
So
stuff.
in fact, Nick had an actual quote on fixing this lift station of $27,000. Me and Nick did it for less than $8,000.
Wow. Okay, so by the way, you know Maddie just stopped and picked up some trash she saw on the ground.
Yep.
You guys got a freaking keeper right there.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
How important
job,
is it? How important is it, Nick, having a good team?
The team is everything.
It's everything,
And
dude.
that is the failure of the other part.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah.
Which is actually,
if I wouldn't have, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
Oh, you'd
I
be a
wouldn't have
year
bought the back
behind.
Park. I would be behind.
Yeah.
And scheduling contractors, them not knowing what they're doing, and
or taking advantage of you.
And if I wasn't willing to come out here and put in the work myself,
so absolutely, at least 3 times since I've worked for Nick, he got quotes, and I was like, man, this is just pure baloney.
Yeah.
Like triple what any reasonable person.
So you would
do.
say that Jim has paid for himself multiple times?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I look around here, and you guys have a lot more vegetation than we do over in Arizona and other parts of the western United States. How are you guys maintaining this grass and all this stuff? Because it gets underneath people's RVs. How are you handling that?
So I did hire someone, a landscape, to cut the back park.
Okay, got it.
But then we bought a Dixie chopper, and we do our
So we
own
bought
grass cutting in
equipment, and
front.
we'll be bringing on people to do lawn maintenance and such.
What do tenants do that you don't like them to do? Build things around?
They're correct. Correct.
Yeah.
No, so some of the earliest problems we had was everybody wants to build a porch
Okay.
to add a shed.
'Cause,
If they get a porch,
Like
then
you
they get
said,
a
they've been
porch.
here, some of them are here 15 years.
Right.
So they get in their mind, they're like, I wish I had a damn porch.
And so then they
Lawn
build a
furniture.
porch. Right. Then they get a porch. Then you get a porch sofa.
Oh,
then
yeah,
there's
hell
a
yeah.
porch refrigerator.
Porch refrigerator, a freezer.
And so on and so forth. And they're all built terrible and dangerous and whatnot. We have now eliminated on it, and that was all part of. That's how we improved our clientele, because first thing you do when you drive through and you see the guy with the tin porch, you're like, oh, it's that place.
Yeah.
And by removing that, that's how we increased everything.
Okay,
So,
where's all this water coming from, by the way?
this is Salt Bayou, and this connects Lake Pontchartrain down to the Regolese. This body of water was used as transportation previous to the United States of America. So the end of this goes down to Fort Pike, and there was an old Spanish hospital that was in
This
the
guy's
river.
like a walking dictionary,
Yeah.
dude.
And so this has always been available. So there's plenty of fish, crabs, everything in here. Certain times of year we'll even get trout and redfish through here.
Wow.
This is fresh and brackish water. This is not drainage. This is naturally occurring. It has been man-made augmented, but it was always here. Just like the road in front of us is called Old Spanish Trail. It predates the United States of America.
Bro, you
where the
should be a tour
Spaniards
guide.
built their
You should
road
be a
up.
tour guide.
Yes.
You're unbelievable.
We have plans for that once we get big enough.
Legit?
Yeah, he'll be able to
Legit,
take
to
take a
do,
P road down and he does a tour.
Guided kayak tours and stuff. Because we have places to launch kayaks. And same thing, that's one of the value adds, and that applies to you, is that if we can do the expansion and get the additional campground, we have even more of this to do rental of paddle boats. All right, that's a very low, they're about $800 a piece. You can charge, $10 a day rental, and it looks good on all of your promotional materials.
Social media and whatnot.
Social media and whatnot. And it's a single employee operation that I could even have Maddie go, I got 2 people looking to rent paddle boat, have a regular maintenance guy stage them. Maddie just goes checks them out.
Other thing I think about is what Jamil was talking to you guys about in his video. Again, guys, if you're watching this video, don't forget to go and watch Jamil's interview with Nick and Jim talking about how to wholesale. But you just mentioned something about expanding into other locations, right? So if I'm an RV park owner, obviously you got good operation, you got a good team, you're landlocked,
Yeah.
right? And so you go, there's another neighboring park. There's always, for you as a buyer, there's always opportunity for you to go, if somebody brought me a deal that was adjacent to me, I would definitely, you'd be the first buyer.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? When people go, who's the buyer? In Jamil's video, it's like, who's the buyer that's going to want to buy an RV park if I lock it up on a good price? Is the freaking neighbor.
Well, if it's an adjacent property and I go to the bank with my game plan,
Yeah.
and I've shown them where I came from and where I'm at right now and what the future is,
Oh, yeah.
and I sell them on that, then why wouldn't they do it? If it's an ironclad deal.
Okay, so bank. What bank did you use?
Citizens Bank out of Baton Rouge.
Okay, so it's a local bank. You built a relationship with
Yes.
the guys over there. So they obviously, that's a better way to go. This is what Henry Washington talks about on his content a lot. Is he says, get a local bank that you can build a local relationship with.
Yes.
Is that what you've done?
Oh, absolutely. And look, and I've always heard that your bank is your number one partner.
Which has obviously
That's your
been
top-
it.
It's your top partner.
I'm debating if it's your bank or if it's Jim.
So yeah,
All the
this
time.
is going to be all sites right here.
Okay.
We're going to
Right,
add
and
sites.
so these are going to be, I don't have a number to tell you per site, but the big deal is it's going to be like $80,000 for the lift station. But that $80,000 gets amortized between 19 sites or so.
Find a Jim. That's what I'm figuring out right now. Find a Jimmy and find a Maddie, and you're gonna win. You're
Yeah.
gonna freaking win. Okay, so the bank, right? The bank has been good to you. Obviously, your second property, they were able to leverage the first property and the hard work that you guys put into the first property to then go buy the second property, and not just buy the second property with no money out of pocket, but to also get a check back in return.
Yes.
You use that check to then continually expand and continue to do what you're doing.
Right.
You also, on the second property, have the ability to go and leverage and get additional lines of credit based on the additional income that you're producing. So all of these extra sites that you're creating are actually going to give you the ability to go get more money.
Tax-free.
Tax-free.
Yep.
So you're being rewarded by putting this freaking work in, which is I actually think the biggest takeaway from this is do the work. You go on, you find the property, you then do what Jamil says all the time. Jamil says, highest and best use of the property. What's the highest and best use of this property? Is expanding and opening up the sites, and this guy just wasn't doing the work. Also, I tell people the value of a property is never the purchase price. The value of the property is what you can do with it.